Hello everyone, welcome back. Another day, another video. It's Saturday today, so I hope your weekend is turning out amazingly, and I hope you've got a very restful Sunday up ahead, because today was just so debaucherous. I'm going to read an excerpt from the narrator from the beginning of The War of the Worlds. I'll link information if you want to know more about it at the bottom. It was a really good a really good play or musical, I don't know how to name it, with Liam Neeson playing the role. So I'm going to link that at the bottom. It's on YouTube, so everything's on YouTube. I'll link that. Without further ado, let's get on with it. No one would have believed in the last years of the 19th century that human affairs were being watched by intelligence which inhabited the timeless worlds of space. No one could have dreamed we were being scrutinized as someone with a microscope studies creatures that swarm and multiply in a drop of water. Few men even considered the possibility of life on other planets, and yet, across the gulf of space, minds immeasurably superior to ours regarded this Earth with envious eyes. And slowly and surely they drew their plans against us. At midnight on the 12th of August, a huge mass of luminous gas erupted from Mars and sped towards Earth. I made contact with Ogilvy, the astronomer, and we hurried to his observatory. Across 200 million miles of void, invisibly hurtling towards us, came the first of the missiles that were to bring so much calamity to Earth. As we watched, there was another jet of gas. It was another missile starting on its way. And that's how it was for the next 10 nights. A flare spurting out of Mars, bright green, drawing a green mist behind it. A beautiful, but somehow disturbing sight. Ogilvy assured me we were in no danger. Perhaps a huge volcanic explosion was in progress, but he was convinced there could be no living thing on that remote, forbidding planet. Hundreds saw it, but thought it was an ordinary falling star. Some say it travelled with a hiss. Some say that it landed with a green flash. However, the next day there was a huge crater in the middle of Horsell Common, and Ogilvy came to examine what lay there. A cylinder, 30 yards across, glowing hot, and with a faint sound of movement coming from within. Suddenly, the top began moving, rotating, unscrewing, and Ogilvy feared there was a man inside trying to escape. He rushed to the cylinder, but the intense heat stopped him before he could burn himself against the still glowing metal. It seems totally incredible to me now that everyone spent that evening as though it were just like any other. From the railway station came the sounds of shunting trains, ringing and rumbling, softened almost to a melody by the distance. It all seemed so safe and tranquil. The next morning, a crowd had gathered at the common, hypnotized by the unscrewing of the cylinder. 2 feet of shining screw projected when suddenly the lid fell off. 2 luminous, disc-like eyes appeared above the rim. A huge, rounded bulk, larger than a bear, rose up slowly, glistening like wet leather. Its lipless mouth quivered and slathered, and snake-like tentacles writhed as the clumsy body heaved and pulsated. A few young men crept closer to the pit. A tall funnel rose, and then An invisible ray of heat leapt from man to man, and there was a bright glare as each was instantly turned to fire. Every tree, every bush became a mass of flames at the touch of the savage, unearthly heat ray. People clawed their way off the common, and I ran too. I felt I was being toyed with, that when I was on the verge of safety, this mysterious death would leap after me and strike me down. At last I reached Mayberry Hill and looked with astonishment at the tranquillity of the scene. Yet, once inside, in the dim coolness of my home, I wrote an account for my newspaper before I sank into a restless, haunted sleep.